Hey everyone. So in this video today I'm going to show you how to oil and grease a vintage Lasko oscillating fan that was made from the 70s into the 1990s. This particular example is a Dayton 4C507C 12-inch oscillating fan. And as you can see, it really is just your typical Lasko oscillating fan with just a few minor differences such as a grounded cord set and a more tan blade. And here is why it needs lubrication. We'll go ahead and turn this thing on now. You can see it really struggles to get going. So these bearings are all gummed up. And what we're going to do is get this fan as apart as we can today and get this thing freed up. So follow along as we do that. So to get this thing apart, we first got to take off the cage. We got to get these clips off of here. The best way of doing this I have found is to just use a small flat blade screwdriver, get under the edge of the clip. And once you get underneath there, you can start working it loose, and it allows you to easily take them off with control. So far I haven't broken one of these things yet using this method, but sometimes these can be stubborn, like this one here is being. It clearly does not want to come off. You gotta watch that they don't get away from you. Once you get the cage off, you can take off the blade. Now this knob here is a left-hand thread, so you gotta turn it to the right to loosen it. And this one is on here incredibly tight, so much tighter than it should be. It really should just be snug. And you gotta watch it as you spin it off here, be ready to catch it, because it can get away from you just like it did here. And then the blade just pulls right off. And the back cage is a standard thread nut, so that's just a standard lefty-loosey and it comes right off. Set the cage to the side here. And we'll take off the Phillips head screws that hold on the front motor cover. You want to make sure you put these in a specific location because these screws are rather specific to this part of the fan. And then the front cover just comes right off after you get these screws out. Now the next thing we're going to do here is work some oil into the front bearing here. I'm using my 3-in-1 in the blue can here. I want to give it a nice generous amount here around the perimeter of this bearing. And then you begin to rotate the fan blade shaft, the motor shaft rather. You can see it's initially pretty stiff here, but it begins loosening up rather rapidly.
Still pretty stiff, isn't it?
This thing is really gummed. You'll also want to move it in and out because that helps work the oil into it. The real proper way to do this would be to take the motor completely apart and really clean everything. But for right now, this is kind of a quick and dirty methodology of doing this. The other thing you can do is run the motor very briefly. You don't want to run the motor for too long without a blade load on it because this can actually burn up an induction motor. So you don't want to let them run for more than just a few seconds like this without a load on them. Once our oil is soaked in, let's take a look at the result. You got the fan kind of back together here with the blade. You can see it starts up a lot better with just what we've done on the front bearing. I mean, this is a pretty massive improvement. Although the blade is a little bit out of balance, I think I'll have to address that. So we'll shut it off. You can see that the spin down is considerably improved, and that's just with lubricating the front bearing. Now, I'm not going to be able to get to the rear bearing in this video because I could not get the oscillator knob to come off, so I'm going to have to do that in part 2. So with that, I'll conclude this video. Thank you for watching, and please hit that subscribe button to stay tuned. Later.